Taiwanese-grown edamame, a green soybean that is often served in its pod as an appetizer in local restaurants, accounts for nearly half of the edamame imported by Japan. Japanese consume 140,000 tons of these green soybeans every year, with almost 1/4 of it Taiwan-grown. Japan's high demand for edamame has lured neighboring countries to compete for a share of the import market, which only 15 years ago was dominated by China. Last year, Taiwan exported 2.5 billion NT worth of edamame, with a whopping 85% going to Japan. How did a small country like Taiwan manage to accomplish such a feat? Our Sunday in-depth report.
In the Pingtung Plain near Taiwan's southern tip, Hou Chao-bai skillfully operates a harvester, which lets him quickly and efficiently cut row after row of soybean pods from their stems. Ho has to finish harvesting all of the edamame in his fields during a 2-week period when the pods are at or around 80% ripe, but he's not worried because the harvester he's using can pick 14 hectares of soybean fields in the span of only half a day. This harvester cost Ho over 7 million NT, and he pays more than 8 million NT per year to lease his 150 hectares of land from Taiwan Sugar. The reason why he spends so much money on these things? It's because edamame has become Taiwan's green gold.
Soybean cultivation has reached a pretty high level of sophistication. Even though there's a 6% tariff on exports to Japan, we still manage to be the #1 exporter of edamame to the Japanese market.
Taiwan's exports of edamame in 2015 reached a value of 2.5 billion NT, 85% of which was generated by exports to Japan. A close collaboration between local growers and processing plants has helped Taiwan-grown edamame to claim a 44.3% share of all edamame imported to Japan. Rapid harvesting methods allow the beans to be sent by truck directly to the processing plants, where the pods are washed, cooked, and refrigerated before being quick frozen for over 13 minutes and finally packaged. The whole process from harvesting to freezing takes less than 4 hours, so that the edamame you eat at your dinner table tastes as fresh as if they've just been picked from the field. Such efficiency has helped Taiwan to preserve its position as Japan's top provider of the tasty snack. But 10 years ago, the state of the island's domestic edamame growing industry was nothing like it is today.
At one point, the Taiwanese edamame industry was close to collapsing because of competition from China and Thailand.
Once jokingly described as an industry in its twilight with only 5 years left ahead, Taiwanese edamame mounted an unexpected comeback in 2002 when export numbers started to rise again after a prolonged decline. Matsui Koji, an employee at a Japanese trading firm, comes to Taiwan every year in April and November during edamame harvest season to inspect production of the green soybean pods and examine tests of pesticide residues. The reason for the recovery in Taiwanese exports of edamame can be traced back to 2002, when tests by the Japanese government on edamame imported from China revealed levels of pesticide residue that were 3 times above permitted levels. The incident caused a public health uproar over vegetables imported from China, and Taiwanese growers jumped in to take advantage of the situation and retake the position as top edamame exporter to the Japanese market. From the fields to packaging, any one batch of edamame marked for export must undergo at least 3 separate tests for agricultural chemical residue. Such a strict screening process is meant to ensure Taiwan hangs on to its hard-won position at the top of Japan's edamame import market, but local farmers' continuing efforts in innovation are also behind the success. On the wall of the Agricultural Research Station is displayed numerous Japanese government certifications for new soybean varieties, each of which undergoes at least 10 years of development and testing before it can hit the market. But the advances that come with the development of new varieties are threatened by the overhanging issue of import tariffs.
A few countries have signed deals with Japan lowering their tariffs on one another's products. But because of international political reasons, Taiwan has been left out of these agreements. When it comes to tariffs, we're at a disadvantage.
In a field with such high capital requirements, Taiwanese farmers have relied on a commitment to high quality in securing their position at the top of Japan's edamame import market.
We can't compete on price, so we had to find a way to compete on something other than price. That means competing on quality. Besides focusing on quality, there are other options, including branding.
These bags of frozen edamame are weighed before being shipped off to Japan. Each bag has a small map of the island of Taiwan printed on it. This is the brand.
These producers are allowed to affix a special stamp indicating that the edamame is grown in Taiwan. We encourage them to print that stamp and even to write that they are Kaohsiung No. 9 beans as a way of distinguishing them from Chinese and Thai exporters.
The international market represents stiff competition as well as opportunity. The comeback victory of Taiwanese edamame depended, and continues to depend, on the combined efforts of local farmers, processing plants, and agricultural researchers. Taiwanese exports until now have been dominated mainly by consumer electronics. They may need to make room for the green miracle, which has been won through the hard work of those fighting to make Taiwanese edamame the best on earth.